Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Today was one of those very weird and very rare days in politics. It's where someone stands and speaks and plays an absolute blinder. Wonderful. What Penny Mordaunt did today, for it is she. She stood up and she played probably one of her best days in Parliament ever. She had it. Now, normally, of course, I find all politicians to be loathsome, horrible creatures. And that is usually what happens. But I've got to say that today, doff's hat, Penny Mordaunt, you played a brilliant game. Well done. But then she's the sort that can pitch to an audience, because obviously she used to be the magician's assistant. She'd sit there, she'd be the lady who was split asunder in a box and things like that. And then at the end of every trick, she'd go, ta-da, and make the magician look fantastic, which is probably why she's in Rishi Sunak's cabinet. Every time he opens his mouth and people are very underwhelmed, and then she goes, ta-da, and people feel a little bit better about the moronic things he does and says. That's a different video for a different day. However, today we're going to have a look at this article. It's all about Penny, and honestly, sometimes they do exceed expectations, don't they? Here goes. So Penny Mordaunt invites Fergus Ewing to join the Tories as the SNP try to make political gain from the tragic, believe it's tragic, Titanic sub search. I believe it's a different thing, but I believe the oxygen has now run out. I believe they're all gone. I think they've all died, sadly. Anyway, the leader of the House also praised Douglas Ross as she took a shot at Deirdre Brock, who had earlier compared the resources used to save those trapped in the Titan sub with those of the deaths of 300 migrants off the coast of Greece. And this is where she just absolutely was utterly brilliant. Absolutely, utterly brilliant today. Penny Mordaunt has invited the SNP rebel Fergus Ewing to join the Tories as she took her weekly pop at the SNP in the Commons. The leader of the House was responding to Deirdre Brock when she broke off to mock the Nats over Mr. Ewing supporting a Tory bid to get rid of Lorna Slater, which unfortunately did. Well, fortunately and unfortunately. Unfortunately for the people of Scotland, that didn't happen. Fortunately for me, it did. Fortunately for me, she's still in place because she gives me such good value for money. Anyway, Miss Brock, the MP for Edinburgh North and Leith, had earlier tried to make political capital out of the search for a submarine that has gone missing during a trip to the wreck of the Titanic by comparing resources used with those of migrants who take to the water in small boats. And that follows the death of 300 people when an overcrowded fishing trawler sank off the coast of Greece on Monday. How would you make political capital out of that without looking like a complete heartless bitch? I don't know. But hey, there you go. Anyway, after dealing with that question, Miss Mordaunt, who could not wait to poke fun at the prospect of Mr. Ewing losing the SNP whip, as well as praising Scottish Tory leader Douglas Ross. And despite getting Miss Slater's role wrong, she hit the spot when she choked. And this was the line. Sometimes we forget the personal impact of policies that our governments make on individuals. And one individual this week, Fergus, who is from Inverness, who's worked in the legal profession for many years and will shortly be drawing his pension, is really dismayed at what is happening in Scotland. He's against the deposit return scheme. He wants someone to come and sort that out. He's against the ill-thought-out protected marine areas. He's against the SNP's transition from oil and gas. And he's against the SNP riding roughshod over the UK Equality Acts. And what would the Honourable Lady's advice to Fergus be? What would she suggest to him, given that Fergus is actually an SNP member of the Scottish Parliament and this week voted to support a motion of no confidence in his own government's co-leader? I've got advice for Fergus. Fill out an application form to join the Conservative Party and hand it to the Honourable Member for Moray, who is standing up for his countrymen and his nation. The Honourable Member for Moray, of course, is Douglas Ross. There she is. There's Penny. She absolutely nailed it today. I mean, I don't normally praise politicians. I think they're horrible. I think they're awful people. But she was on it. She was on it today. Miss Brock had earlier looked to compare the Titan incident, this tragic sub now, it's now a tragic case, as I say, with the tragedy in Greece. 5 men, including 3 British nationals, are aboard the sub, which is believed to have just hours of oxygen left, and that's at the time that this occurrence was happening. It's since officially run out. They're now officially, it's no longer a rescue mission, it's a recovery mission. And desperate attempts are being made to find this submarine. Anyway, Miss Brock told the Commons, "Eternal Father, strong to save, for those in peril on the sea, is one of my very favourite hymns, Mr. Speaker. It calls to mind the dangers of those brave enough to venture forth and sometimes stormy waters can face, be it those who travel down to its very depths, or those who are risking their lives to escape war, persecution, famine or drought. And our hearts go out to all those currently lost and to their loved ones," she said. And yeah, she's probably right about that. And there's a picture of her there. She's probably right that these people, it's sad when people die. It is absolutely sad when people die. But perhaps more resources should go into ensuring that the countries they come from are more sustainable, and have trade and have organisational, infrastructure and things like that. The trouble is with a lot of them, that's not the case. They have long histories. It's tribalism, it's feudalism. You'd have to change their cultures. And the only way you change their cultures, or if you try to change their cultures, you're seen as being imperialistic. So what do? If the only way to save them is to change their culture, but if you try that, you're wrong, then there's no saving them, is there? And we can't keep taking everybody. We're a small island. We're already overwhelmed, and public resources aren't there. We can't. What we're going to do? Add 1 billion people to the UK's population? We don't do it. We haven't got the ability. So it is a problem. It's not our problem. It's a world problem, and we need to make sure that these people are cared for and able to live a life in their own country, and stop the decimation of their countries. But that's an entirely different video for an entirely different day. However, getting back to Penny, well done to her. Well done for putting the SNP in their place today. And I noticed very much that Beryl Flynn didn't say too much. He's already been he's had the basilisk eye from the Speaker yesterday for comments he made. So he was very quiet today. He didn't want to risk the ire of Mr. Speaker. So he didn't respond very well at all. So 1-0, I think, 1-0 to the Tories in their match against the SNP today. Well done, Penny. Anyway, I shall round off there, and I shall come up. Sometimes, some days just go right when you're a politician, and I think Penny Mordaunt will sit today and go, tick. And, oh God, I'm doing this video and a message has just come up. I'm going to straight away, after this video, there's going to be a very short video, which I've got to do. I'm going to confirm something about that. Anyway, well done to Penny. Well done to her to get that out today. I thought it was marvellous. And who knows, perhaps Fergus will join the Tories if he does lose the whip. And please do stick by. We're talking to Fergus. I've just had a breaking news story that his mother, Winnie, great SNP stalwart over the years, she's literally just died. So I'm just going to do a very quick video on that. So I'll round off here. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, which will be a very sad video, I'm afraid, stay well, stay safe, and goodbye.